Dragons won both meetings last year. Let's see how this one unfolds at WIN Stadium. The Titans start with the ball first.
Well, it should be a cracking game, Speedy, because last time these two teams met was in the do-or-die semi-final of last season, and the Titans will be looking to get one back on the Dragons after going down just 24 points to 18.
Oh, big hits. Kezzy Apps has moved into the front row for the Dragons today with Elsie Albert, a late omission.
That's right, the PNG jukebox, as we know Elsie Albert to be. She'll be sadly missed by the Dragons today, but equally so on the Titans, they're without Tasman Gray, arguably two of the biggest hitters in our NRLW competition.
There is Elsie Albert watching on due to injury as Brown gets the first kick away. Tonegado able to take it on the full, and she is contained. The kick chase exceptional from the Gold Coast side. First up, who are coached by Karen Murphy for the first time.
The absolute legend, Jillaroo legend that is Karen Murphy. She's only the second female coach to have the head coaching position after Louisa Abiaki, head coach of the Warriors in 2018-2019.
Concern for the youngster who replaced Tasman Gray in the starting lineup. Tiana Ralph-Strand-Smith might have to leave for an HIA, judging by the early pictures here.
Tiana Ralph-Strand-Smith, Speedy, an absolute rising star of our game. This will be a disappointing start. She has to leave for an HIA.
Given the all clear after running into the shoulder of Paige McGregor. He's wearing the headgear here today. There's Wheeler moving it on to Apps with the go forward, up over halfway for the home team. Pearson able to punch that one through the line and test out Arpie Nichols. Great to see her back on the NRLW stage. The policewoman from New Zealand and former Warrior.
Also former Kiwi Ferns. So she's only missed the last couple of seasons due to the border restrictions with COVID. So interesting to see how she goes.
And watching it all for us up close and personal, right in front of where the ball is right now, is Darcy McDonald. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Speedy and Tasha. What a day it is here at WIN Stadium. 17 degrees and only a slight breeze coming across the field into the grandstand. The pitch was a little dewy earlier, but the sun that you can see beaming down has dried that right up, so the conditions are perfect for some free-flowing footy.
Bravely Nati gets it wide to Arpie Nichols, and the hand was hung out. And the knock-on is the adjudication against Ivania Politi.
It's good to see they've finally opened the gate, Speedy, and the hill is beginning to fill out. That pass from Arpie Nichols, just timing a little bit out, going well behind Vani Politi.
Referee Cara Lee Nolan adjudicating that was a knock-on. Yeah, it's something that they can look at, maybe opening the gates 10 minutes earlier than they did today, which was right on kickoff for this one. Tonegado, great defensive read coming in off the wing from Maddie Bartlett, who knows how the Dragons go about it, of course. One of just two players not retained by Jamie Sauer. The offer from the Titans was just too good for Maddie.
There's the man himself, Jamie Sauer, in the coaching box.
He's been in the coaching box with the men's team as well. He's been working with the back five for the Dragons at NRL level, and the head coach of the women's team for the second year in a row as Pearson throws the dummy on the outside. Again, the Titans' defence is up quickly. Their line speed has been exceptional so far. And Pearson is not allowed to play it by Shannon Martor. It was all tied up, and it was inevitable that the whistle would be blown.
Indeed, I don't think Shannon Marto heard the call of held. I find that hard to believe. I can hear it from here.
Turning down the opportunity to take the shot at goal. Pearson's a sharp shooter. They want a try instead here, the Dragons. Pearson waits on the right-hand side as they set up for a play on the left. And Wheeler just takes them on. Taken down right in front of that left-hand upright. Pearson moving it on to Bent. And in off the wing, making a great tackle down low, Karina Brown. Davis, the dummy half. Again, the numbers on the left-hand side. Fui Mayono trying to put her edge back rower through a hole. Tale Holmes, who came into the starting lineup after the reshuffle with Albert out. And now the kick from Davis, easily tidied up by the Titans, who absorb the early pressure.
I think you're right, Speedy. It has been their line speed that's enabled them to turn the Dragons away.
Haven't they shown some adventure as well, with ball in hand inside their own red zone?
Coming out of their 10, not afraid to fling it round.
Strong defence, putting Zara Canfield on her back. Down the short side for Ivania Politi, who had that roaming licence with the one on her back, but playing at left centre to start the campaign after the addition of Arpy Nichols as the fullback.
She averaged 140 metres last season in the #1 jersey.
Strand Smith has recovered from that early blow. Brittany Brayley-Narty finding Brown on kicking duty again. Tonagato gets there on the full once more. It's the wind up, but again the chase is rock solid.
It's a great chase by the Titans. Defensively looking very, very smart.
There's Tegan Berry, who was on the right wing last year for the Dragons with Bartlett on the left, and put her hand up to be the left winger this season for Jamie Sowart's side.
Bartlett managed 6 tries on that left wing, so no wonder Tegan's happy to go there.
It'll be a different kind of attack for the Dragons this year, according to the coach, Soward, though. Fui Mayono dropping one in behind Maddie Bartlett. Across comes Arpy Nichols, has to get away from the sideline. Chase was great from the Dragons this time.
And a nice kick there by Fui Mayono. Found some grass into the left back corner.
Pass going astray, but no damage done. Well, now there is. The ball is loose right on their own try line. And a mistake spotted against the Titans, who've shown adventure inside their own red zone. This time it backfires.
And the ever-reliable Kezi Apps onto that ball. Here's that kick from Fui Mayono. Nice bit of grass into the back left-hand corner. Good chase by the Dragons. And Shaylee Bent and Kezi Apps, and you can just see Varney, the ball getting away from her, and also I think that was Karina Brown.
Awkward looking scrum. The ball almost came back out the same tunnel, and the referee says that's a penalty to the Dragons right in front. This is a gift, 2 points if they want it.
What do they do now, Speedy? Do they take the 2, or do they back themselves to cross over for 4?
Kezi Apps, the captain, has decided they'll take the 2 this time after turning down a similar chance earlier on.
I think why not? They're going to get the ball back.
The Dogs' breakfast in the scrum.
Something we don't see. The scrum has become just such a formality, but there was a lot of push and shove going on in that one.
.63% with the goal-kicking boot last year for Rachel Pearson in her rookie season. She's a good goal kicker, and she slots over the first points in the Dragons season. They're up 2-0 over the Gold Coast Titans.
interesting to see what impact Ronna Peters have for the Titans. She's known as a heavy hitter. She's a past Kiwi Fern player, former Bronco, but missed out in the last season for COVID reasons.
Yeah, two-time Premiership winner with the Broncos. This lady, Lauren Brown, also a grand final winner in Brisbane colours, but now playing for her hometown team.
That's right, a local Gold Coast girl. Just waiting for the tee. Can't kick off the tee. No bucket of sand ball out these days, Speedy. You need that kicking tee.
She's got some trick as well. You saw the way that she placed the ball on the tee here. Floating it down. Could be awkward to catch, and it got big on Pearson, but she made sure of the take. 3 involved in the tackle to slow Kezia Apps down, who wears the number 11 on her back, as she does week in, week out, but she can play in the front row as she does today.
As mentioned, moved there due to the injury, I think, at training to Elsie Albert.
Wheeler moving it on to Tonegano, trying to bust them centre field. Linked up with Fuimaono. She's wrapped up successfully by Jasmine Peters, defending at right centre. Offload from Davis back to Fuimaono, getting involved.
A spin and an offload there by Davis, the most experienced player out there for the Dragons.
Yeah, she's played each and every game since the NRLW began.
And she's only 22 years of age.
Pearson's kick. Chasers trying to time their run. Arpy Nichols took it on, coughed it up, and the Dragons just dominating possession.
Well, Arpy Nichols ran onto that ball at pace and leapt quite high in the air. Unfortunately, just couldn't hang on to the ball.
Apps. Fuimaono, and Tale Holmes has found a gap. Here comes Tonegano, and the Dragons have their first try through the Dally M medalist Emma Tonegano, and the weight of possession finally pays off.
And it was always going to happen for the Dragons, and I'd like to say it was always going to happen for Emma Tonegano. She's constantly putting in those extra efforts, backing up, being there all the time for the offload. There's a dummy from Apps, gives it to Tale Holmes, who gets the line in, and beautiful pass. Emma Tonegano does not get touched, I believe. A lovely ball here from Tale Holmes. She digs into the line just enough to get the defensive team to take a bite, which leaves Emma Tonegano to do what she does best and finish with a great 4-pointer for the Dragons.
Try number 5 after the little juggling effort from Emma Tonegano in her 8th game in the NRLW, the Olympic gold medalist from 2016 in Rugby Sevens. But back in Rugby League, an absolute superstar delivering for St George Illawarra. And there was a lot of talk about where she'd play this season. Every club interested in attaining her services, but Jamie Soward knew if she was going to back up again, it would be in Dragons colours as they make it 8-0 after the conversion from Pearson.
Yes, it's no surprise that Emma Tonegano was wooed by several clubs, but it's great to see that she's maintained her loyalty with the Dragons, being a local Gong girl that she is. Here's that run from her. Good line speed. You can see they're coming up defensively. That pass a little bit high. She's normally far more accurate on that. And here's the try. The dummy from Apps. Tale Holmes draws in the defence and gives it to Emma Tonegano. And with her pace, goes through untouched.
What a player Emma Tonegano is. As you mentioned, Tasha, many clubs tried to woo her, particularly the Broncos, who threw everything at her. But Coach Jamie Soward said this week he was always confident the Dragons would be able to retain her.
Apps, really strong running. And out of dummy half, they've got a real roll on now. St George Illawarra. Tonegano slots in off the back of Davis's work, and here's Tegan Dimmick.
Davis does that so well. She saw that the markers weren't lined up. They were slow getting back to their feet, and that's when she darts out, and that's when she's so dangerous.
Just been rolling up the middle on this set. Pearson to get the kick away. There was a test for Nichols a moment ago. This time she's able to stay grounded.
It's a great high kick there from Rachel Pearson, giving her Dragons edge plenty of time to chase up.
They're all over Ivania Politi, who's flirting with that touchline. Shannon Martor, the birthday girl, 24 today.
Yep, happy birthday, Shannon. Hope you have a big game.
A knee injury in round 2 last season ended her campaign, so she's fired up to help the Titans get to the grand final this year. But a rare mistake by Brittany Brayley-Narty in the dummy half roll, the Queensland and Australian rep World Cup winner in 2017. You don't see that too often.
You certainly don't. Also, the 2018 Dally M winner. Also wife of the 5'8" Kimiora Brayley-Narty.
Was a Dragon. Both of them were in 2019.
That's right. And Kimiora had a little bit of a heart murmur scare. It's good to see she's back. She's back earlier this year as well, of course.
At speed, Tonagato trying to put McGregor through a hole. What a one-on-one tackle that is. Brilliant defensive work from Jasmine Peters. But the Dragons looking ominous, playing with confidence. After scoring more points than anyone else last season and had the best defence as well. Apps trying to bullock her way through. Davis has a glance towards Pearson and she'll fire it that way. Quick hands over the top, what a pass! And in the corner, on debut, Andy Robinson.
Wow, congratulations, Andy Robinson. She certainly knows a way to the try line. She may be on debut at the NRLW level, but earlier this year, she scored nothing less than 3 tries for the under-19 New South Wales team. And here's that try again. Nice soft hands by Emma Tonagato. Over to Andy Robinson, who waits patiently on the wing, and a lovely finish up of the ball there. Collects herself her first try at the NRLW level.
Is there any wonder? Everyone wanted to have Emma Tonagato playing for their club this season. A try and a try assist already. And the 20-year-old Andy Robinson, you mentioned that hat-trick for the under-19s. Everyone said that night, gee, I wonder who she's going to play for in the NRLW season. Jamie Sauer just sat back and said, I've already signed her a month ago after watching her in a Monday night game for the Cronulla Sharks, who she scored 10 tries for in the last 23 games. And she's just buzzing right now, trying to get her heart rate back down after that moment that she's dreamt of.
Absolutely. Andy Robinson, we should get used to that name. I think we'll be hearing it quite often, and there's certainly no flies on our mate Jamie Soward, who managed to get that signing very quickly. He knows what he wants and he goes and gets it. Hence, he's still got Emma Tonagato, and actually 17 of the earlier seasons rostered out there for the Dragons.
So a tough conversion attempt for Pearson, but she hit that one sweet and off the upright and not quite over. It remains 12-0 to the Dragons. A great story. Andy Robinson is Darcy McDonald.
That's right. What a moment for the debutante Andy Robinson. She's a Cronulla product, and she's also the partner of Sharks rookie Kate Dykes, who ironically made his NRL debut 3 weeks ago against the Dragons. Now, she looks set for a really bright future in the NRLW, but perhaps when she hangs up her boots one day, we might see her on the sideline, because she's an aspiring rugby league journalist, and she's in her 2nd year of her degree at Wollongong Uni. So I think my job might be under pressure.
You'll be a mentor, no doubt, for Andy Robinson in the years to come, Das. As the kickoff goes to Fui Mayono, and the Dragons look to get rolling again.
No need to worry, Darcy. I think we're quite a number of years off before Andy Robinson finishes with the game as a player.
Just a delightful pass from Tonagato to hit the winger on the chest. And now bent almost through the line.
You can see now that Quincy Dodd has slipped into the dummy half role. Works so well with Keely Davis in that, double punch coming off the bench. And I think Keely's moved into more of a 5'8" role.
Fuimarano dumping it back inside for Tale Holmes. She's already laid one try on the 22-year-old. Fuimarano's kick hitting the winger Bartlett on the chest, and the Titans finally have the ball, and now they get the penalty to piggyback their way up the field for inside the 10 on the chase. So can the Titans get something going here? We saw a 12-0 early lead erased by Parramatta yesterday when the Roosters got off to a flyer. Can Gold Coast work their way back into this one? Take two on the tap from Peters.
Both teams have been working so well defensively. The Dragons got caught out that time being in front of the kicker in their eagerness to chase the kick from Fuimarano.
The benches getting some work now. Steph Hancock coming onto the ground as Martor gets a spell. Here's Georgia Hale right up the middle. Amazing. Steph Hancock still going strong, the 40-year-old front rower. Poor service again by Brittany Brayley-Narty. This time made it tough on her halfback, Loz Brown, who couldn't scoop it up on the half volley.
Two rare mistakes from Brito Brayley-Narty. And there's coach Jillaroos legend Karen Murphy not looking too happy with that service from dummy half.
Left her post at the NRL Integrity Unit to take on the role with the Gold Coast Titans.
No doubt the Titans girls will be behaving themselves off field with Karen Murphy at the helm.
Not just the coach of this team, but the club's director of Female Rugby League is the official title.
And assistant coach to the Jillaroos.
And her assistant coach is Matt Geyer. As Tara McGrath-West comes on for her debut in the number 17 jumper. Quincy Dodd is on as well.
Great to see Tara McGrath-West. I spotted her playing for the North Sydney Bears, and she really very, very impactful. Looking forward to see the impact she brings today coming from the bench.
She's demanding it here and receives from Davis for her first touch in the NRLW. She's 21 years of age, born in Cootamundra. Pearson. Blocked in the line was Politi offside. It's play on for now. Beautiful pass to find Brown trying to pin the ears back, and she's taken down 20 out in cover. This might be the opportunity they've been waiting for as Politi goes to Nichols. And they'll go short side. Politi trying to put Canfield over, and the defensive work was stout. What about that hit from Shaylee Bent? One-on-one. Here's Hancock. Former Dragon trying to keep it alive, then had to hold on as she was driven back by Wheeler and Tale Holmes. Running in behind the lead runner was RP Nichols. The Dragons still good enough to contain the fullback. Paige McGregor, a wonderful defensive centre. She now played at that. If it's scooped up by the Titans, it'll be play on instead. The endeavour of the Dragons to get there first and get the ball back, trapping and scrapping as Davis got there.
How did Davis do that? It was a fair bump, but she scooped it up in her legs. Managed to keep possession of that ball. There it is, no doubt. Well done to Keely Davis.
Paige McGregor just struggling in back play at the moment. But she's working her way back into the line after that defensive stand a moment ago. Pearson. Fullback was only just behind the line, so RP Nichols has to turn around and chase, and that's a terrific kick. Great game awareness from Rachel Pearson, who works 10-hour shifts in the mines during the week and then comes out and stars in the NRLW on the weekend.
But what great awareness does Rachel Pearson have, Speedy? I mean, I love the early kick. She kicked then on the third, saw the fullback, as he mentioned, was just up behind the line, so plenty of grass.
Tackle 2, Madison Bartlett to play.
Concern for the former Dragon here.
There's the camaraderie that is Holly Wheeler, just checking on her ex-teammate. Mind you, no love lost in the strength of the hit that she just delivered her ex-teammate.
Could have gotten away from McGrath West coming in there crusher style as she grabs the back of her neck there, Maddie Bartlett, but they looked at that in the bunker and determined there was nothing untoward, no need for a penalty. Strong run. Still not held. Eventually the call comes from the referee to slow Georgia Hale down. Hancock up over halfway. This time some post-contact meters for Steph. Plays it on the last for Brown to go to work. Maddie Bartlett's recovered, putting pressure here on Tegan Berry. McGregor's okay now.
The Titans have to find a way to keep the Dragons down here, but they're getting to the kick. Their completion rates is outstanding. The Dragons, 100%, whereas Titans sitting, 44% there. Not too good there.
Mistake from the Dragons, coughing it up.
Didn't I just put the knocker on them?
And another debutante has arrived out there for St George Illawarra, Mona Lisa Soliola, the 18-year-old who only took up rugby league seriously in the last 12 or 13 months. And here she is on this stage. Here's Kimi Brayley-Nati, understanding with Politi, trying to get there. Tonagato got there first and was crushed into by her Olympic teammate from 2016, and they get a repeat set out of it.
Well, that's the matchup that I've been looking for, Speedy, is Vani Politi getting all over Emma Tonagato. Politi playing in the centres, Tonagato in the full-back position, but there's a fine example of just what she can do to Emma Tonagato, wrap her straight up.
Great weight on the kick from Kimi Brayley-Nati, New Zealand international. So still that 12-0 deficit, and Lauren Brown just relaxed for the catch and coughed it up. It's a tough watch right now for Karen Murphy.
Yes, Karen Murphy will not be happy with that one. Rare mistake by Loz Brown. It's not like she took her eye off the ball. She didn't, Speedy. She didn't have a look at what defence was running up at her. It just eluded her and went through her arms. You mentioned Mona Lisa making her debut, Mona Lisa Soliola. She is one of 10 kids, Speedy, and they all played for the rugby league for the Baralla Bears.
And related to Sia Soliola, her dad is Sia's brother, or cousin rather. Quincy Dodd, eager for a quicker play the ball. And there is Soliola's first hit up in NRLW, and there were 3 there to greet her. Teenager back to her feet to play it quickly enough for Holmes centre field. She's had a terrific start to this encounter, Tale Holmes. Wheeler winding up. Inside the 30 she goes. Dodd looking for a kicker. Really slow play of the ball. She'll fire it to Pearson. Robinson trying to get there. Oh, Arpy Nichols up and over. What a contest that was. Taken out in midair is the adjudication. How on earth did she hold on? That is spectacular.
Very strong play by Arpy Nichols, and you can see Karina Brown there appealing for that penalty. Not sure that Andy Robinson was actually
Dragons
going
are
for that,
challenging the
but
on-field decision of penalty for tackle in the air.
This is great awareness by the skipper, Hezi Apps, because you're allowed to challenge for the ball, and she's got eyes for the ball here, Andy Robinson. She's trying to catch it, and she winds up just catching Harpy Nichols because she flew so high, and this should be successful, shouldn't it?
absolutely. You can see she's
So
not...
George player makes contact on the Gold Coast player while she's in the air, putting her in a dangerous position. The challenge is unsuccessful.
Well, Speedy, as I said, you can go up for the ball. It would appear that Andy Robinson was doing nothing but that. It's just Harpy Nichols grew wings and flew so high. But still, nonetheless, penalty to the Titans.
And that was Alan Shortall in the bunker, turning down that captain's challenge. Linati shifting it onto Hancock, and again they're ready and waiting. Not a whole lot of metres on offer for the veteran just yet. Oh, big hit over the top from Soliola. Welcome to the ball game, Jess Elliston. Dragons really muscling up defensively here.
Saw that hit earlier from Soliola, and it's great to see that the coach Jamie Soward has gone out and got some strong forwards in his recruitment.
Hung up by Brayley Nati, who wants it. Tonagato gets there, and Politi in the vicinity again. They're always coming together, those two.
Bees to the honey.
The dynamic ball runner, Emma Tonagato, and the tackle was high.
Looks like Georgia Hale may have gone a little bit high on Emma Tonagato. Titans copped the penalty. Just along the jawline there.
The referee had a great view of it in the 2021 comp. Emma Tonagato led the competition in run meters, tackle busts, try assists, line breaks, line break assists, and already delivering in the first half hour of the new season.
Delivering with a try assist and a try herself, no less.
Roxy Murdoch out there for the Titans in the number 18 jumper. Another to arrive from the Broncos. That time a little clunky from the Dragons, but touched in flight for a set restart. And Fui Maono making the most of it, trying to tee up her winger, Tegan Berry. 2 tries in round 1 against the Titans last year, and another 4-pointer in round 1 of the new season. But Fui Maono, that was outstanding.
That was a great piece of play by Fui Maono. Came off some sort of broken play there, what seemed to be a broken defensive line. Here's a pass from Wheeler onto Emma Tonagato. Lauren Brown quick to be up in the face and tackle, ends up with a drop ball for Maono. Great awareness of the defensive players and puts Tegan Berry through untouched. Great bit of work by the Dragons as they keep piling on the points here this afternoon at Wynn Stadium. But what a magic bit of footwork and pass selection by Talia Fui Maono.
In her last 3 regular season games, 5 try assists, 5 line break assists, as she really found her feet at the level, but she went that away. Talia Fui Maono, Jasmine Peters didn't know where she'd gone.
Absolutely outstanding. She went every way, Speedy. Off the left, off the right, spun around, and still so very much aware of where the defensive players lie.
Tegan Berry now right alongside Maddie Bartlett as the leading try scorer all time for the Dragons in NRLW. She's got 6 of her own in 9 games. Still just 20 years of age. So the clock freezes with 3:49 left in the first half that the Dragons have dominated. And Pearson adds 2 more, 18-0. It's an emphatic scoreline in favour of the home team.
What a ball from Talia Fui Mayono. She had a really slow start to the 2021 season, but started to find her groove in the final 3 games. As you mentioned, Speedy, 5 try assists and 5 line break assists just in those 3 games. And she would have been in the mix for a potential State of Origin debut for New South Wales if she hadn't broken her collarbone in the Harvey Norman Women's Premiership. So it's great to see her back on the field and picking up where she left off.
Fantastic player. And coached by Jamie Soward, who was a fantastic half in his own right, teaching the likes of Pearson and Fui Mayono, and haven't they come to play in round 1? He was conscious of what they've been through, these players, this season, with the extra NRLW season squeezed in. They've got a World Cup coming up that all of these players would hope to be part of at the end of this season, of course. So it's a big year, and he went easy on them, he said, in pre-season, but they're looking so sharp, Tasha.
They're looking fit. They're fighting strong, both teams. You can see very sound defensively.
Ball came loose. There were 2 in the tackle. And an easy decision to award the penalty.
Brayley asking a question.
She's the captain, so she's sending it upstairs. She thought the Dragons lost it.
Times are disputing the on-field decision of a strip.
Need to chat to Hancock there, the other player involved in that tackle. Not sure if she got the confirmation. Did Steph look a little bit guilty or totally innocent? There's Steph Hancock, arm on ball.
With 2 players in the tackle, Steph Hancock strips the ball out with intent. Challenge is unsuccessful.
Hasn't been a half to remember for Brittany Brayley-Narty, who blows her captain's challenge.
She should have confirmed there with Hancock. I'm pretty sure Hancock would have put her hand up and said, no, don't challenge this one.
A confession from the policewoman. She's been a copper, hasn't she, Steph Hancock?
She sure has.
Wheeler up the middle, tried to offload, and a little too ambitious as it went forward and didn't find Quincy Dodd. That's a rare mistake early in the tackle count.
It is a rare mistake from the Dragons. I mentioned not so long ago that they've completed all their sets at 100%. And since I've said that, Speedy, they've coughed up two early errors, bringing their completion rate down below 90%. Jamie Soward not happy with that.
Does not want to let the opposition back into it here in the final minutes of the first half.
It's exactly what you don't want to do. You don't want to give the Titans a little sniff just going into the sheds.
A lazy arm over the top from Wheeler on Jess Elliston. Hale taken down low. Textbook tackle from Wheeler with support from McGrath-West over the top. Brayley-Narty for Nichols and Politi, a bit of room to move, and got through the first tackle. It was back up from Robinson, Shaylee Bent and Pearson. Ball comes loose, demanding a penalty, and Politi gets it. Still time for one full set here. Can they find their first points of the ball games to take some momentum into the second half? Canfield to play it. Brayley-Narty pass behind Hancock. Brown had time to tidy up. Shape to kick. Fires it out to Peters, trying to put some footwork on of her own after being bamboozled by Fui Mayono's footwork for the previous try. Elliston. And now the width is there to the left-hand side. Instead, it's Hancock crashing over. The veteran finds her way to the try line. 40 years young, Steph Hancock, and they've got life, the Titans.
And she can bring it on. That was a great run by Steph Hancock. In their last meeting against the Dragons, it was Steph Hancock laying on not 1 but 2 tries, and that is why. She runs this great line with so much power and strength. You can see there Jess Ellison getting up, quick play the ball. Brittany Brayley-Narty sees her number 10 coming through at the angle, knows how hard Steph Hancock, the legend that is Steph Hancock, is so hard to stop from there.
Of course, she came to the Dragons as a mentor to Elsie Albert. She was hoping to go head-to-head with her great mate today, but Albert was ruled out. And I think even Elsie was just standing to pay tribute to her great mate for that 4-pointer there. And look at that, the record try scorer for the new club in their second season is the front rower, Steph Hancock, with 5.
Absolutely amazing. She's achieved just about everything there is to achieve in our great game.
Whilst Brown wastes no time converting that try, so at half-time, it is the Dragons in control, but the Titans back in it. It's 18-6.
It's half-time here at Wynn Stadium. Dragons 18.
So away we go in the second 35-minute half here at Wynn Stadium. Part of a quadruple header on Fox League today of rugby league action, culminating with the final game in the NRLW round 1 as the Knights, after their aggressive recruitment drive, take on the Broncos a little later on after the 2 NRL games on the Sunday ticket. And an early penalty for the Dragons. The discipline has let the Titans down at times.
Interesting to see. I think that was Tara McGrath-West in jersey 17. Drew that penalty. She's not coming off the bench this half. Jamie Soward has said, nope, you go on to run-on team.
There is Mona Lisa Soliola catching the eye already with her first couple of contributions in NRLW.
She put on a heavy hit in the first half.
Jessica, move!
So off the back of the piggyback penalty, the Dragons up the field through Pearson, and now back on the angle goes Shaylee Bent. Her partner David Fafita plays in the next game for the Titans against the Dragons at this same venue. There's Jess Elliston with a new jumper. Some blood on the jersey in the first half, so she's wearing the 23 in the second period. Tonagato! And unselfish to Paige McGregor. They just cannot contain the Dragons fullback. And Paige McGregor, the beneficiary this time for her second career try.
That was a well-executed try there from the Dragons, creating space over on the left-hand side where they've proven so dangerous time and time again. And this time, it's the great Paige McGregor that gets the try and the 4 points for the Dragons, but it's this pass here by this amazing player that is Emma Tonagato. Again, commits herself into the defence, makes them take a bite out of her, and again, over on the left-hand side, she allows her winger, or her centre rather, to go through untouched. Very unselfish play there by Emma Tonagato.
A possible obstruction in the lead-up.
Yeah, you saw complaints from Jasmine Peters when Tonagato ran around her about a lead runner and what distraction they'd caused to the Titans' defensive line. Outside shoulder involved
Mona
there.
Lisa Soliola, who's a lead runner, initiates contact on the Titans defender, knocking her over and prevents her from making a tackle. You have a decision.
So a learning experience for the 18-year-old on debut. Got to get your way through the line without contacting the outside shoulder. So take that try off, Paige McGregor. It's back to 18-6.
A lucky let-off there for the Titans, but rightly so. Mona Lisa did not run through the line there. And you see so many tries denied because the lead runner just stops and props on the defensive outside shoulder.
Let's get down to Darcy for her halftime report.
Well, Dragons coach Jamie Soward won't be too happy with that. He wants to see the girls more clinical in their attack, although keep up the efforts in the defence because he is overall happy with that first half. As for the Titans, Karen Murphy, she wants to see the Titans compete more in defence, settle down in attack and find their lines, and also has called on the halves to take control of the game.
Yeah, she's given Lauren Brown a big opportunity to play in the halves after being a winger and centre and number 9 in previous years.
Seems to me like the completion rate of the Titans was down at 63%. But Karen Murphy would also be adding, complete your sets and get to the kick.
Aliti was held. Brayley-Narty Here's Elliston. Stopped in her tracks. No contact from Holmes. Brayley Narty's kick. Canfield chases. And a very confident take. Didn't wait for Tonagato to get involved. It was Keely Brown who took it on her chest. There's the other centre, Paige McGregor, with some tough meters.
I think we just saw Steph Hancock give a little bit of a don't argue in back play there. Get out of my way.
Oof. There's another don't argue from Steph. Penalty is blown though.
Strips are free.
Is the call a bit high?
It's a stripping call, I believe.
Steph.
Yeah, reefed out of there by Canfield was the call from the referee.
I didn't think it was young Steph Hancock again. So it had been done once for ripping.
Ball strip free again. Ball strip free.
A very messy start to the second half, Speedy. Nothing like what we saw in the first half.
I think the referee's getting a little annoyed with the Titans just ripping the ball out with 2 in the tackle. She does want to stop play, but she's forced to blow that whistle on back-to-back plays.
Yeah, it's a warning shot to the Titans. Next one, might see someone in the bin.
McGrath West from the North Sydney Bears to the St George Illawarra Dragons on debut today. So Dodd stays on. Davis is out there. New role now for the number 9 to Tonagato, and Fui Mayono over the top. Great hands, Tegan Berry, and this time the try will stand. Tegan Berry has a double once again against the Titans.
Great play by the Dragons. We've seen some great pass selection by Emma Tonagato, but this time we see, I think it's Fui Mayono showing I can do that as well. Off Emma Tonagato to Fui Mayono, and the great, almost a Harbour Bridge pass to get it to Berry, who's lightning fast. Well covered there by defence, but she still manages to find a bit of grass to put this ball down to give the Dragons that extra 4 points. Had to fight for it, but got there in the end, Speedy.
Again, the handling of these wingers for the Harbour Bridge passes over the top. It was Robinson first, and now it's been Tegan Berry. As you said, there was plenty going on in the put down, but eventually the Steeden is grounded by Tegan Berry to become the Dragons' greatest try scorer in NRLW. She's up to 7 now in 9 games. It's a fantastic strike rate. And that decision to go to Jamie Soward and said, I'll be on the left wing, thank you very much, is paying dividends.
And why wouldn't she? With Maddie Bartlett scoring 6 tries on the right wing for the Dragons last season. She's now obviously lining up for the Titans, but Tegan Berry very happy to go to the left side wing.
What are other aspects of play have been cleared to this point?
Is there a bobble in amongst all this?
Tegan Berry's right hand comes away from the ball, contacting the Titans player, which constitutes a knock-on. We have a decision.
Well, 2 tries denied by the Dragons. Now, we saw Jamie Soward in the coach's box, standing up and clapping. Won't be happy now.
And all of the Dragons were back on their own try line, getting ready to accept the kickoff again. Instead, they've had to run their way up to get a defensive line set. So that's been 2 tries denied in that corner for Jamie Soward's Dragons, and the Titans still trailing by just 12.
Don't think you had to be a very good lip reader to work out exactly what Jamie Soward was mumbling in the coaching box just now. Anyway, back to it.
Maker Clark getting her first minutes just on for the Titans as Steph Hancock gets a rest. Politi trying to get on the outside, but sticking to the task. Keely Brown, it's a big assignment for her defensively, head-to-head with Politi, but she's doing well so far.
Yeah, Barney Politi just 58 run metres. So Keely Brown, her opposite centre, doing a good job containing her.
There is Laker Clark taking some stopping. Debuted against Parramatta last season, round 3. This is her 3rd game of NRLW. Brown throwing dummies and trying to find a gap that wasn't really there. McGregor in company with Fui Mayona. Hale rocked around the 30-metre line. On the last, Hayley Nati goes to Brown. Little grubber in behind, sits up nicely for Tonagato, who tries to go the other way, and the crowd was about to rise. And hasn't the crowd figure risen here? It's a terrific turnout for the Dragons season opener.
Well, it's a great day here at WIN Stadium. Great weather. And just incidentally, neither the Titans nor the Dragons have been defeated at this great venue. But that will all change in about 28.5 minutes' time. Somebody will be defeated at WIN Stadium of these two teams.
Canfield just lowering the shoulder on Keely Davis. Dodd to Apps. Best 2 dummy halves in the world, according to Jamie Soward. Quincy Dodd and Keely Davis. As Pearson just finds space in behind again and finds the touchline.
It's a great boot that we've gotten so used to seeing off Rat Pearson. Rat being her little nickname, of course, Rachel Pearson. But she just has a great boot and great control of that ball. Looks deep, sees a fair bit of grass there and finds touch.
Don't forget it's a doubleheader of NRL action after this. Same venue, same 2 teams next. The Dragons against the Titans. And then after that, it's the Knights against the Raiders. Can Canberra keep their finals hopes alive in Newcastle? Throwing the dummy. And Canfield just tripped up in time by Davis. Elliston off the back of it. And Bent needs some help from Pearson. Strong run from Jess.
Much better play here by the Titans. Much better attacking set here. You can see quick play the balls and a lot of work in trying to get them down on the ground.
Harpy Nichols chimes in. Up to halfway goes the fullback. Hale could have kept the shift going, but took them on up the middle. And plays it on the last for Brown to give it plenty of hang time. Tonagato, though, under no real pressure. Quickly tries to get to the outside and contained by Peters.
That was a great set by the Titans, as we were saying, Speedy. They got to the kick. They had quick play the ball. Great attacking set. And maybe that's going to turn it around for the Titans.
As you saw, Holly Wheeler back out there, gets involved straight away. And Dodd departed, so Davis just slots back into the dummy half roll. All aware of their roles and multiple roles throughout a ball game, these Dragons. It's a fantastic team to watch, the way they go about it. Nichols facing her own try line, knocked it backwards, despite the protests from Kezi Apps and company.
Kezi Apps asking the question there, but I think the ball did go backwards, so RP Nichols allowed to get it. But that was, you know, Rat Pearson again kicking on the 4th.
It is early, but what are we making of Ivania Politi playing in the centres and not the fullback role, with RP Nichols given the one to start the season, Tash? Is it limiting the impact that Politi can provide?
Well, is it the defence of Keely Brown and the Dragons that are so determined to keep her, you know, run meters down? I'm not sure, because I know RP Nichols is an outstanding fullback. I've seen her play some brilliant games. But she's certainly not having the impact that Vani Politi normally brings to the game. So you might be right there, Speedy. Less room to move.
Doesn't get to Politi again. And a great read by Keely Brown to get back and take the kick. That was a bit of a nothing kick from Kimi Brayley-Nati.
Bit of a short kick.
Tonagato, that burst of speed across the field and busting tackles for fun.
Wouldn't you love to just be outside Tonegato all day? I'd be there. If I could keep up with her, Speedy.
Georgia Schrader! This space. Hold, bring in, hold. Wait.
Slow play the ball for Wheeler.
It's a great tackle by Georgia Hale.
Pearson thinking about an offload, but the ball was well contained. And they're really smothering her here to slow it all down again.
We just talked about Varney Politi and Keely Brown. It's a little bit off the play of the ball there, a little bit of a, don't argue.
Berry again had to take the pass overhead after Philly Marino threw one over the top. Now she's on kicking duty. It's gone backwards, but it might just work out. Now there's trouble as it took a Titans bounce, and Karina Brown made sure it was going no further. Handover.
Back to the mark.
Okay, Georgia Hale, you're on report for a grapple tackle. Georgia Hale. This weight.
It was unfortunate for the Titans that the communication was coming from the bunker to tell them that Georgia Hale was put on report. Otherwise, Politi had sensed an opportunity down that short side out of dummy half.
Absolutely, and by the bunker coming in, being involved there, it's allowed the Dragons to reset their defensive shape.
Here comes Arpy Nichols. And her outside players were so far away that she didn't fancy throwing the 20-metre pass. Brown, inside ball. And sticking to her assignment defensively was Wheeler to slow down Hale, just placed on report.
Also a great tackle there by Kezzy Apps around the boots.
Still plenty of time for the Titans, and this is a rare trip to this part of the ground in this second half. Hopeful flick back in board by Brayley Nati. Arpy Nichols says to Martel, get out of the way, I've got some business to do. But taken down, one-on-one tackle to effect the handover, and that's Kezzy Apps taking matters into her own hands. So here's Georgia Hale for a grapple tackle. I mentioned how slow this play of the ball was, and you saw the agony for the Dragons player there as Hale went to work. They'll come under further examination in the next 24 hours. You still got that gig, Tash?
I do. So Tuesday night I might be a little bit busy at Rugby League Central for the NRLW Judiciary.
There'll be no further comment from Tasha on that grapple tackle video until then.
That is absolutely correct. Notice my silence.
No shortage of penalties against the Titans, making it very hard to continue the comeback in this round one encounter. But the ball comes loose, and they did it the right way that time. One-on-one strip from Brayley Nati. Is that a little game-changing moment?
She's showing the Titans. I'll show you exactly how to do this one-on-one, and the Titans have possession again thanks to the brilliance that is Brittany Brayley Nati.
Laker Clark is looking the goods, providing an impact off the bench. Shannon Martor determined to enjoy her birthday with a victory. Politi. Again, Keely Brown all over it. Draped all over it.
Great defensive effort by Keely Brown.
Best field position for the final play for the Titans since half-time. Brayley Nati gets one through the line, and they should get a repeat set at worst, as Fui Mayono concedes.
Kimiora Brayley Nati, how good on the boot. You can see, if we go to the replay, just how many Dragons are up there trying to stifle that kick, put her under pressure, but she still manages to thread it all the way through into the in-goal line, and the Titans put on a good chase and will come up with possession again as the Dragons have to complete a goal line dropout.
Remember, it was 18-0 to the Dragons, 18-6 at half-time. They get the kick away in time. Complaints by Brayley Nati about the timing. Thought they might have got a penalty right in front. Doesn't really change too much because they've got decent field position anyway, and they wouldn't have been going for two. Here's Laker Clark. A little bobble, but able to control before the defence arrived. Brown shaped back inside, went outside for Nichols. Jasmine Peters with Nichols now wrapping around. Strand Smith putting some footwork on, getting some second phase going with the offload to Brown. Intercept thrown. She was sweating on that one. Tegan Berry, and now the foot race. Politi coming in cover. Berry's a speedster, and she'll burn them off, as she did famously as a teenager. And now, as a 20-year-old Dragon, she goes 90 metres, and surely this one won't get taken off them.
Surely they're going to let them have this try. Tegan Berry, she is lightning fast. She's actually a national underage representative in the athletics, and you can just see why. Look at that, given a bit of space, that style, that pace. Tegan Berry, 20 years of age when she took that ball, but she's run so fast, she's gone backwards in time. She might now just be 18 years of age by the time she puts that ball down, Speedy.
It just hasn't worked attacking-wise for the Titans, has it? And it was an easy read for Tegan Berry to claim her double. Great effort by Karina Brown coming from the other wing, trying to round her up.
Absolutely, and Varney, Varney Politi coming at you at an angle. She's no slouch. It just shows how fast Tegan Berry is. She's loving that wing.
And what about the pathways that you're so aware of in Women's Rugby League coming through? We saw her, the under-18s New South Wales game, wasn't it, a couple of years ago at North Sydney Oval, when she produced a similar effort that went viral, how fast she was to run 100 metres on an intercept on that night.
Absolutely, and I watched her even years before in the Taja Gale Cup. I think it was the grand final. Emulate that exact run.
Now bringing it to this stage, live on Fox League on a Saturday afternoon, quadruple header of rugby league action. The windsock on the hill suggests this might help Pearson's attempts, but it hooked a little too far. And it's a 16-point margin in favour of the Dragons now, Das.
Real strength, real skills and real stakes returns this weekend with the 2022 NRLW Telstra Premiership. Don't miss the chance to watch the action unfold right in front of your eyes as these growing rivalries become epic contests. Experience the Premiership live. Fans can secure their seats at nrl.com/tickets.
No shortage of tickets sold today as well. Terrific turnout.
Just speaking of fans, Speedy, we saw there a shot on the hill, somebody having a lovely cold beer. It's a great day here at WIN Stadium and good display of footy being played. And
we saw the Guard of Honour being formed by the Taja Gale Cup side, perhaps for the Dragons as well earlier, and plenty of watching on the hill there in an ideal spot as the Titans try a short kick-off, but Renee Target was ready and waiting.
Good utility player is Renee Target.
Came onto the bench when Albert was ruled out, just as she did in last year's grand final. Apps, what a leader she is. Andy Robinson talking this week about the aura that Apps has. And they're going to be tough to toss this year. St George Illawarra, last year's grand finalist, determined to go one better. And with Tonegato in the team, they can do anything.
She almost split the defence then, but she's turned up without the ball.
Ripped out one-on-one.
The Titans have to find something. They must score. 16 minutes left, 22-6 down. Sarah Canfield, she can also kick goals, Speedy.
You've been working on that one.
I have. I'm dying to use that one.
Rayleigh Nati to Brown. through the intercept a moment ago. And holds on this time. Harpy Nichols on kicking duty. And getting there off the wing stylishly was Robinson. Just cruised across to take it on the full.
Only 20 years of age, Andy Robinson has herself on debut and scored on debut. Took that ball with absolute confidence. Page looking for the penalty.
And getting it.
Wriggled around just enough.
You need to fix it up for me, Brittany.
And a warning. Sick of blowing penalties. Cara-Lee Nolan said to Brittany Brayley-Nazi, you've got to tidy things up, otherwise the sin bin will be being visited.
Renee Target gets a rest, well earned.
Just the lone try in the second half coming from Tegan Berry with the 90-metre intercept.
I'm just loving the hit-ups, the leaders, you know, in the forward pack. Kezi Apps there, and the last one by the great Holly Wheeler, the go-forward of the Dragons pack.
That'll take her over 100 metres run. That brilliant effort from Apps. Dodd went off the back of it. Now Davis at first receiver for Tonagato. Hoping for an offload for a bit of second phase stuff off Tale Holmes. They go down that short side for Davis. Oh, what a pass! And Paige McGregor latched onto it, put the footwork on, and the Dragons' domination continues.
Again, it's by great pass selection. Good footwork, obviously, by Paige McGregor, but they keep hammering that right-hand side defence of the Titans. It's something that they're definitely going to need to look at during the week. We can see here, Davis, great pass as Paige McGregor runs at pace, coming towards the goalpost. Not close enough, still will be a little bit difficult for Rat Pearson, but look at that step, look at that smile. Paige McGregor goes over for another try for the Dragons, again on this right-hand side defence of the Titans. Look at the celebration there. Tegan Berry very happy with that.
A well-drilled outfit, ready to go in round one.
It's Paige McGregor, of course, younger sister of Racine McGregor, who was instrumental in the Roosters' win over the Parramatta Eels yesterday.
Haven't we got some sensational centres in the game as well? Saw what Surgis and Kelly did yesterday. Tiana Penatani in the studio for Fox League today. In the centres for Parramatta, got Ivania Politi playing at left centre for the Titans today. Paige McGregor, who Jamie Soward rates as one of the best centres in the game.
And that's a big call. And let's not forget the defensive efforts of Keely Brown trying to keep Vani Politi quiet.
So a little closer in this time for Pearson, who's kicked 3 out of 5 today. And again, same kind of kick, drag to that near side, but they don't need too many conversions the way they're going. They lead by 20.
Oh, their attacking shape, their finesse, their ability to complete the plays has been enough to rack up the points there for the Dragons, as we just see that last try there by Paige McGregor. Probably could have come in a little bit closer and helped her mate Rachel Pearson out, who's not having the best day with the boot. They haven't been easy kicks, Speedy.
Just looking through the stats, you've got so many Dragons up over 100 metres run, including Tonagato, Berry, Kezi Apps and a Holly Wheeler. They've all cracked the ton today. And the best for the Titans is Georgia Hale with 87, and that puts it into some perspective.
It certainly does. Tegan Berry with 162 run metres so far this game. We just saw her run over 90 of them to go over for a try earlier.
Didn't quite execute the little trap there, and this captain's challenge has gone, so they can't send it upstairs. I thought there was a little knock on as she tried to tidy up, and that's how the referee saw it. It got away from Tonegado, and then across she came, called teammates out of it, and they saw a little bobble in amongst all of that.
Well, did the ball actually go to the ground? Emma thinks not, but captain challenge, as you said, Speedy, has gone. Now here's the Titans with an opportunity. Great
misunderstanding. Brown and Nichols were right alongside one another, and Brown lost her fullback and paid the price. Here's Ronna Peters. Another New Zealand international in the NRLW.
Absolutely.
Politi putting some footwork on, and the Dragons had plenty of backup. Look how many are there to contain her in the end. They know what a strike weapon she is. Now, Kimmy Brayley-Nati. Brittany Brayley-Nati. Short ball from Ronna Peters, nearly worked for Shannon Martor. Now, Ronna Peters trying to crash her way over. What about the ball out the back? The offload, sensational. Kimmy Brayley-Nati decides to kick in the end for Politi, and the Dragons able to bat it dead.
The Titans are finally showing just how dangerous they can be on the goal line. Even though great defence effort from the Dragons, Kimmy Brayley-Nati still managing to thread that ball through to give her team possession again, as the Dragons are forced once more into a goal line dropout. Karina Brown was all over that.
Some treatment in the in goal for one of those desperate Dragons defenders. Cassie Apps will be able to get back to her feet, hopefully. And no damage done. And she'll take a break via the HIA, I believe. Might have been the signal. And McGrath West back on to help out with this defensive stand. Short dropout off the outside of the boot. Won't quite work, and Canfield trying to send it back the other way.
Very brave attempt there by Rachel Pearson with a short dropout.
Politi this time gets it to Brown. He will forever be the Gold Coast Titans' #1 player on the honour board at club headquarters. Bestowed that honour in the last couple of weeks, as the club displayed on the club website in a beautiful video. Coughed up by Martor. A little juggle into a Dragon.
She loses it in the contact.
And that's a defensive stand that will please their coach so much. They don't give up any points there, the Dragons.
No, Shannon Marto, unfortunately, just juggling that ball, and it does go on and find contact onto the Dragons player. She regathers it, but because it's hit the Dragons player, it's determined to be a knock-on.
You saw the Roosters yesterday, Tash. Beat the Parramatta Eels, and we've seen the Dragons pretty emphatic today against the Titans with 8 to go, leading by 20. Who's been the most impressive performer so far in these first 2 games?
Well, both the Roosters and the Dragons are looking very, very impressive. Well-disciplined squads, both of them. And the Roosters yesterday racking up 8 tries to 3 against the Parramatta Eels. And it looks like the Dragons are not slowing up on the Titans here today. Elsie Albert there.
No grand final hangover for either club. As Pearson's kick, and Brown back to tidy up ahead of Robinson.
She's done some great defensive work. I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. Keely Brown, outstanding in today's game, maintaining especially that player there in the opposite number. Varney Politi kept very quiet today.
Take it back to the mark, take it back to the mark. Pull back.
Held was called about there. Now Ronna Peters gets the ball to centre field for the Titans to be able to go either way. Henley against Wheeler. And Keely Davis refusing to let the Titans play the ball. Just slowing things down here.
And Ronna Peters being put out there for the impact for her hard runs. Absolutely no relation to the number 4 in the Titans, Jasmine Peters.
Again, just up in the face as Paige McGregor took down Elliston. And off the back of it, the Titans are running out of room. Ralph Smith made it tough on Bartlett, but the winger did well to come back inboard and hold on. Elliston again. Heavily involved in this set. Their only try scorer, Steph Hancock, has just come back on for her second stint, and they cut her out, but again, they weren't quite sure where it was headed, the Titans. Canfield straightens things up. And now Brayley Nati. Martor takes 4 to stop her in the end. Hancock waits left side. It goes to Brown. Short ball, and there's no way through, and that was the last, and that's a handover. And Elliston wasn't aware of the tackle count, and again, that shows how much work they've got to do heading into round 2, these Gold Coast Titans.
Still just 5 metres out from their line. Not such a bad place to be handing it over.
Tough ball to handle. Bouncing ball that Kelly Brown managed to hold on to under immense pressure.
Now, Steph Hancock plays exceptional footy, especially when a team's down. She leads by example. She actually scored 2 tries in the last encounter against the Dragons, and one of them was in the last 5 minutes.
Pressure on St George Illawarra here. Trying to work it out of their own red zone. And that's 4 plays done. They're 15 metres out. Wheeler takes them just outside their own 20. Pearson gives it everything down breeze, and Harpy Nichols able to get across and take it on the full, and she'll use her winger Bartlett. And the kick chase at this stage of the game from the Dragons was very good.
Titans really have to come up with something here. I mean, it was a great defensive effort, keeping the Dragons just 18 metres gained prior to the kick. What can they do with ball in hand?
There is Hancock. Brayley Nati just waits for Nichols to chime in, weaving her way around Keely Brown, who's feeling the pinch. But Harpy Nichols coughed it up in the end.
Unfortunately, Speedy, I think she tried to force that pass. You're inside the last 4 minutes. You're 20 points down. Can't blame her.
Titans have a home game to look forward to in round 2 against the Knights, while the Dragons will take on Parramatta at Combank Stadium next weekend.
That's something you don't see with Emma Tonagato putting the ball down.
Okay, no clocks are on. Time out anyway.
So another Dragon down, so the referee blowing time off.
Shady Bent, a little bit of HIA assessment. Andy Robinson down on the ground, possibly an ankle injury, or is it a cramp?
When they step up to this level, NRLW, these youngsters are talking about how much faster it is from the level they have come from, and Andy Robinson has run herself into the ground today, a try scorer and feeling the pinch with the cramp in the last few minutes. Maybe her first taste of pickle juice, and it doesn't taste that great.
Just didn't like that. It was the great Pam Goodrich. They have given it to her. Tremendous supporter of the Dragons. Great in the support staff role as a trainer.
Can the Titans click here, attacking-wise, in the closing minutes to take something into that round 2 encounter at home? Bailey Narty for Ronna Peters. Driven back again. The Dragons determined to keep a clean sheet in this second half. Ronna Peters slots into dummy half with Bailey Narty tackled. A little no-looker, trying to squeeze Politi through that hole, but again, the Dragons have done so much work on their defensive line, ready for the challenge of Politi. Hold her up, but Hancock in search of that double, as predicted by Tasha Kale. She scores in the last 5 minutes again and lets out some frustration with the celebration. Their only try scorer today, their record try scorer for the Titans, has a double.
Steph Hancock, she just keeps bringing the magic. Might be, you know, a little bit too late now, but we did say it, Speedy. We did say that Steph Hancock can find that try line. Did against the Dragons in their last meeting in the last 5 minutes. She makes something out of absolutely nothing, and I love that traditional Hancock celebration after try celebration as she boots the ball into the crowd. Here's the ball from Bailey Narty. Look at them. The Dragons are all over her, but she just keeps moving those legs and just finds that extra. I think it's a third arm she put that ball down with. And there is the Steph Hancock post-try celebration.
She can boot the ball, Steph Hancock. She had 2 tries in her NRLW career before the semi against the Dragons, and now she's got back-to-back doubles as a front rower. She's learning the art of try scoring very late in her career time.
She sure is, and she's just getting better and better. Like, she leads by example, Speedy, and there was no try to be had there unless Steph Hancock has the ball in hand.
Final 90 seconds of this NRLW encounter, and up next on Fox League, the same 2 clubs go at it in the NRL arena at the same venue. Warming up out the back, Tino Fa'asuamaleaui and his Titans looking to finish the season on a high against St George Illawarra. So 14-point margin in favour of the Dragons here. Getting off to a winning start in the new campaign after finishing as minor premiers last year.
She's not done yet, Steph Hancock. A blistering run. You can see the whole team, the Titans have lifted. That's what Steph Hancock can do.
Bailey Narty again for Canfield.
Canfield can catch.
Did very well to hold on there. Under pressure from Bent, and now pressure on the kick from Bailey Narty. Good enough to get it away. And Hancock trying to keep it alive, knocked back by the Dragons, so it's play on for them, and they should be able to finish with the ball in their hands. Of course, weren't the minor premiers last year. Brisbane snatched that with that late effort to rack up the points against Parramatta, you will remember, of course. But here in Wollongong, the Dragons, beaten grand finalists last year, determined to go one better this season, are off to a flying start. They beat the Titans, who they knocked out of last year's final series, 26 points to 12.